It's every other, like team 1, team 2. Team 1 is melee, team 2 is ranged. So
he said the range will be in front of their nose.
Yep.
And the ranged will also be the one with the condom on it because 0 is ranged.
Yep. And Sanju, since you're pretty cool, I'm gonna give you an icon. You got a green triangle.
I don't think it's cool. Antes.
Adam, Mark, you good? Do you have any more questions? I mean, feel free to ask.
I'm sorry. I'm going to need you to explain what's changing for the tanks again.
So you can't get hit by the charge, right? Ever.
We're not supposed to.
Correct. So what happens is if the range pile has to soak, you're going to be in the way. So you have to get out of the way, right? If that happens, or when that happens, you need to be with the melee so that the boss turns to the focus person, which should be behind the range, and he runs through the range pile, totally avoiding you.
Who are we gonna call first?
Melee team will be first.
Good. Okay.
I'm going to have to see it in action because I've got no idea what's changing for me.
Okay, so I'm on a bear. Condom is 0. That's the range group. You're tanking. And Valcourt or somebody move over here to my right, back right. If it's the range group's time to soak it, you're going to have to turn the bear to face the melee group so that you don't get hit by the charge when he charges off through the range group. The rest of the time, you'll probably stay exactly as you are when it goes through the melee group because he'll turn and run through us. So basically, when it's range group's turn to soak, you need to turn the bear toward melee group.
Yeah, even if you're not tanking them, because you can't get hit by charged.
Question: doesn't the person who's getting charged, don't they take more damage if they're closer to Ursoc?
Yeah, that's why they still run far away.
Running.
You still have to do that same mechanic.
And it's entirely likely that we'll get a ranged person that gets it when it's melee turns group to soak.
Oh.
So you're still going to have to run if you get targeted.
No, I get okay.
Means,
So wait, when the tanks switch the bear around, are we moving with the bear then
Nope.
as well?
No, you stay put.
the group should stay where they are. The only people moving are the tanks to get out of the way of the charge and the person who's targeted by the charge.
Okay, I guess
And
it'll
if
make
you-
more sense once we started. It's just like I'm trying to envision how we're gonna have groups switching in and out, but
No, groups do not
Groups-
switch in and out.
There's
Groups stay
the
put.
melee. There's going to be the melee group gets fit first.
yeah,
Yeah.
I get that they don't switch
Or
out. But what I'm saying
runs
is I
behind the
don't
melee
see how
group.
that.
So let me finish. Whoever the second time, it's the range group. So whoever gets picked to get charged runs behind the range group. We're not running to the same spot every time, so the two piles don't need to switch. The only thing you need to do is be aware of which pile you're running behind when if you're focused.
And that will be called out.
My question with that though is when it's the ranged group's turn to soak it. I know that we're not
Right, so
switching
run-
groups in and out, but aren't they going to be close to the wall since that's where Ursoc's face is? So where's the person going to run for?
He
Ursoc's
needs to
behind
run
the range group.
straight line through the ranged group to wherever that person is.
Yeah,
standing.
I see what
Okay.
you're saying as far as the curve goes, Spectro, but it should be fine. It shouldn't be a problem.
Like I said, I'm
I
sure
get- I
like
get
once
what
we
your
do it,
question
I'll
is as
see
well.
I'll see what's happening, so it'll make more sense.
And if the hunters or the paladins get it, they don't have to run far. They can run just behind everybody, then immune out, and he won't do any damage to you. Saves you from having to run very far at all. Especially like if it's the melee and InBev gets targeted, he just steps back 10 yards, immunes, and then right back in.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You should have fled. Now I'll feed your bones to the storm crows.
Okay.
So team 1, which is melee.
2, 1.
Tremble before my fury.
So team 2, which is ranged. Person that gets focused, run behind the range pile. Kill the ad.
Valkor's down.
4, 3,
I got melee.
On Valcourt. Come on.
That's a wipe. We don't have a res.
Not bad.
Beware. By the will of the Nightmare Lord.
What got you there, Adam? Looks like you took damage from miasma before you got run flush.
And you like
4,
saplings.
3, 2,
Yeah, it was nearly 3 million damage in less than a second.
I mean, I
You
was
saw me
shifted out
ask
of
you to focus
position,
him, right?
trying to get out of the way of that charge.
What's the cooldown on your
with
leap, Adam?
the way we're changing this to put the range against the wall, we're going to be having smaller miasma circles.
It's a good thing, right?
No.
And what do you mean ranged against the wall? You're still kiting him in a circle around the map.
Yes, but when he's going for the ranged group, the ranged are closer to the wall than they are to the center of the room. So I'm rotating in towards the center, and that's by necessity going to make the circles that we kite him in smaller than they would be previously.
Okay, what do you think we should do to compensate?
I think it's just a side effect of having the ranged out in front of the bear like that.
Well, it shouldn't be any different because the ranged have always been doing that. Like team 2 has always been in front of the boss before we made any changes. But really, the only changes are people aren't moving as often, and the focus person has to know where to go, and your tanks have to turn so you don't get hit by charge.
I mean, I like how the groups are set up this way. I think that if people aren't moving as much, that we should be able to DPS them better.
All right, range check on me.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You should have fled. Now I'll feed your bones to the storm crow. Beware.
Team 1, melee, focus. Or charge, I mean.
1.
By the will of the Nightmare Lord.
Can we get Adam up?
Mine's already got 3 overwhelms.
Let's wipe it.
By the will of the Nightmare Lord. Beware. By the will of the Nightmare Lord. Stamp and trample, crush and
4,
trample.
3, 2, 1.
By the will of the Nightmare. Should have fled. Should have listened.
It's a rare sight, but I'm on top of the DPS charts. It takes a really bad failure to get that.
Are you able to survive this?
Well, without two Holy Priests or Pally, it's extremely difficult to team this as tanky.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
no,
having
I
those,
was
you'd
actually
think that's
talking about
pretty-
Chubbs vanishing us. If you're having trouble,
Yeah,
with-
Shaman and Druids don't have anything but pure heals. I mean, you need shields, you need big heals to help in this fight.
we can switch. Why don't you try him on? The damage on him is more progressive. I'm having zero problem with him, and I'm not having to use my big a lot.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You should have fled. Now I'll feed your bones to the storm crows. Flatten you like
4,
saplings.
3, 2, 1.
All right, range team soak next. And kill the ad.
Flatten you like saplings.
Melee, make sure you don't get hit.
Melee watch.
By the will of the Nightmare Lord.
Add him up.
Remember, you still got to run far. He does damage based on how far he runs, only to you.
Wipe it up.
It's tough when you res me. I don't know when I should jump.
No,
back
I
in
think
and
that
hit.
was. Let's talk about. I think we are needing the ranged pile to adjust slightly to their left as we move around, because when Ginsburg drew a straight line between the boss and the pile, it just took him to the hill, and there was no room for him to get back far enough for us to take less damage.
Have listened.
Well, the people taking the damage take the same amount of damage every time. Only the person getting focused takes more damage based on
I
how far
thought
away
the
they go.
splash was based
No.
on distance.
No.
No, the person getting hit is based on distance just for them.
Yeah, there's 3.5 million damage reduced by how far away he runs. So if you're too close, there's no way you can survive.
Yeah, and something knocked me
Gotcha.
back before the charge. Does that add knock people back?
It shouldn't.
You should not.
Yeah, I got knocked back before the charge.
Yeah, that happened to me in the first one.
I've seen it happen sometimes too. I don't know what does it.
I've had that happen to me too. I think it's like he's already like started casting the charge. It's just he hasn't gone.
Instead of being like on Ursak's nose, perhaps we should be on his like left shoulder or something like that. If the
Well-
melee are on the right back shoulder.
I was gonna suggest that maybe we should flip spots with the melee and because with the miasma puddles, us trying to stay on his flank is really difficult, especially when the tanks are trying to pull him up tight to the wall to minimize how much real estate those miasma puddles take up. If we're on his, we're gonna get parried, but that's only about 5%. But if range is kind of out already away from him toward the center of the room, it makes their job easier to step. The only difficulty is going to be if one of you guys get get targeted and it's the melee's turn to soak, you have to
Oh, we
run,
had
or
that
vice
problem
versa. Yeah, exactly. But I
And
was thinking,
actually, that fixes the problem that Imbev's talking about with not hitting the ad. Melee can't hit the ad. So I like that. So we just range and melee switch positions.
So melee is going to be in front of the boss now.
Correct.
And we can do the first hit's going to hit range this time instead.
Yeah, might as well keep it that way.
Can we designate someone that's in the melee group to help the tanks know that they need to get the fuck out of the way? Because there's a lot going on already.
Sanju has a green triangle on him.
No, he needs to know
he's not
when,
gonna
when to
charge.
render. When to,
Let
I
us
can do
know
it.
tanks need to move. Like
I can do it. When I say melee soak, that means, and I'll mention tanks move to range. Or tanks turn to range, I should say.
I think we're just going to rotate in towards the center of the room, right?
Yeah, no, that's perfect. That's exactly right. As
Yeah,
long as
we're
the
just
boss is in the
twisting.
same spot and you just turn them, it's great.
and
Yeah, I can see
range
what
can
Haman's saying.
stay.
The only issue is that the miasma is going to then drop in the middle of the room, which gives us a little less space. But I don't know how to.
Does the miasma drop underneath them or in front of him?
underneath them?
Underneath him.
As
So
long as
he
you
should
turn them, it
just
should be
be
all right.
rotating.
It seems like it moves closer into the middle, but
We lose a little DPS, Mac, but I think it's overall going to be better because we won't have to move as much for miasma. Because there's a lot of times we can't DPS him; he's just too far away.
Yeah.
So this should actually counteract that.
I appreciate you guys adjusting on this. I mean, it's a tough fight. And minor adjustments are what's going to get the kill.
2, 1.
You should have fled. Now I'll feed your bones to the storm crow.
melee need to be closer to in front. Well, we can probably wait till after them. Yeah.
Is melee still soaking first or is range?
Range soaking
Range.
first.
4,
Melee move to the front.
2, 1.
Sanjay, you weren't supposed to soak that. Go ahead and stand up. Sanjay, you need to be in front of the boss. Melee team soak. Tanks, get ready to turn them. In 3 seconds, tanks.
Melee needs to be in front.
2, 1.
Kill the ad.
I'm up.
That's white. Mark's dead.
the only tricky thing I'm seeing with this is how do we get him into position when after he charges? The
Should be
melee model.
exactly the same. It shouldn't make any difference. Because
He's
he has.
he's a big boss model though. I mean,
Well, he has
it's
two
really hard to turn
cacophonies before you need to get him in position for the charge.
4, 3,
I mean, just do everything the same, until I say turn him, and just turn the boss.
No, we dodged him. It's just that he charges off straight ahead, and then he walks slowly back to wherever the tanks
Oh,
are.
you're talking about when
It's
the
just hard
front
to
group?
get him back in position.
Well, that's okay. I mean, I think the only thing you have to worry about is just miasma, and you have two miasmas and two cacophonies to get him back in position, which is probably 15, 20 seconds, I
30
think.
seconds, I think. 30 seconds
Okay.
for two
Yeah.
charges.
It's harder for us because the way that we were doing it in the center of the room, it's so easy to tuck him right back into the corner when he comes back. But it's up to
I think,
us.
truthfully,
Live there, techie.
if as long as the miasmas are mostly overlapping one another or close to, we're gonna run out of a timer before we run out of real estate in here for the most part.
Yeah, I think we're at that spot now because we got the 6%. There's
We had like less than half the room filled on that 6%, didn't we?
A little bit more than half.
We were
No,
probably about
at the 6%, it was full. The room was already full. It was already starting to go back to the middle. I was trapped off in the corner, I remember. But I was healing, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, all melee should be in front of the boss's nose. Always. Unless you get focus charge and you have to run behind the range group. All melee. Everybody. I know you're worried about parry. Don't worry about it. Because when you had to stay out of miasma and not DPS the boss, I mean, you're gaining it back by always being able to DPS the boss.
glancing blows are still damaged.
Hey, Bev, last one, you ready? What's up?
Logging back in. The hotspot turned off. I think it has a timer or something on there.
Oh, right on. You good in, Bev?
Yep, I'm ready.
Sweet, sweet. All right, let's give it a whirl.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You should have fled. Now I'll feed your bones to the storm crow.
All right, melee moved in front of the boss.
Melee in front of the boss's nose. No, land, wrong spot. Range group, so. There you go. Melee will be the next soak group. If you get focused, go to the melee.
Tanks will be turning this time.
Yep, I'll let you know when to turn, tanks.
Damn it. Res Adam, please.
All right, kill the ad. Melee is a soak group. Tanks, go ahead and turn the boss.
Now you're running. Oh,
Nice done. Range piles the next soak group. Ad is up, kill it.
4, 3, 2, 1.
You know, you start turning them. So they have
Melee is the
run
next
to
soak
melee.
group. Melee is the next soak group. They have plenty of time to turn.
Oh.
Add up. Tanks, go ahead and turn it now.
4, 3, 2,
Yeah, then make sure you get hit.
That hit us.
Range group is the next to soak. Add is up.
Mana.
Uh-oh.
Oh, apparently I'm tanking the ad.
It's all right. Let's swipe. Swipe it up. That's much better.
Yeah, but I can't keep up healing like that.
Yeah, healing's extremely rough.
Ciro, how far ahead of how are we on the damage?
Barely. We need to. Everyone
not
needs to
good.
do in 330.
Berserk in a minute 30, and we're only halfway.
Wasn't like the number like 314k DPS per person?
No, it's 2.
Oh, okay. Oh, I read 314.
No, I thought it was 315, 330 for 14.
I thought I read
15 counting
314
the
on
tank.
the forums. Yeah.
I'm gonna go check Hangux posts.
Okay, one thing that seems to be happening is range need to make sure that you're getting close enough for the cacophony. There's a lot of range that are standing too far back to actually get hit by it. So you
Yeah,
need to
that's
make
what
sure that you're right
killed
on the
me.
very edge.
I get hit by a huge cacophony.
Yeah, I was about to mention that. Yeah. You have to be the range need to be moving quickly.
Yeah, we need 297k from everybody, and to avoid the last cacophony, we need 318k.
We need what? What was the last number? Sorry.
318k to avoid the last cacophony at 15 seconds, and we're gonna take a break. That last time felt much better. I felt like we got into a rhythm with that strat, and I didn't have to move nearly as often, and it was nice.
Who was it that liked electronic music in here?
Me.
Who's me?
0. Fibs also gave you the icon for a Silk group. I'm not sure if you saw that. But I'm gonna go AFK real quick, Spectra.
I want to link you something real quick.
Cool.